2024 was an amazing experience on the PCT. I started in Oregon this year and went all the way to Kennedy Meadows South. I wanted to connect my footsteps all the way down to Hikertown, but whenever I finally got to Kennedy Meadows South, the trout fire closure was there. It was like 115 degrees in the desert in August, so I wasn't going any further. I do have some future plans real soon to go back to the desert. But I'm going to go over my pack and the way it was packed. This is my backpack, the Hyperlight Unbound, and this is the 50 liter. Last year I carried the Unbound 40 through the desert. Absolutely love that pack. But because I had to carry a bear canister this year, it required just a little bit more room than what I'm used to carrying. So I'm going to go over everything on the outside, and we'll just start right here. So this is the Garmin InReach Mini. It has two great pockets here on the waist belt. Carried just a buff. And the gloves that I carried this year were from Outdoor Research. Just an amazing pair of gloves. You could put liners under them, but they really were good for what I needed. What's great about these, they have this pocket, which is on the top side of your hand, and in that pocket had rain gloves, and then whenever it got cold, you could just put a hot hands packet in there and it would start heating your hands up pretty well. On this side I carried a torso length part of a Thermarest pad. This is my luxury item for sure, but it's an amazing piece of equipment. I've had this for quite a few years, and it has like so many uses. So when I'm taking a break, I can just spread it out. Whenever it's cold, you can put this on top of your blow-up pad, and it adds that little extra layer of insulation. And I've camped in some pretty cold, below zero temps, and used this, and it was a game changer. Also in this pocket, I have my water filtration system, which I've been so happy with this. It's the Ketadine Be-Free. I've been using it for probably 3 years, or pretty much since I saw it come out. It's got a 1 liter bladder on it, and this is just a part of a Sawyer bag for the Sawyer squeeze, and it expands out into a cup, so if I need to scoop water from a shallow source, I can do that. Also in here is this plastic bag. If I'm going to a source of water that's, you know, a half a mile away or something, I can just throw all my water bottles and everything else in this bag and carry it. Super lightweight, and then I can also use it in town whenever I need to get groceries. Also hanging off this pocket is a cooler cloth, and then I have a camp towel. In the other side, I would carry all my water bottles. Usually I was carrying 2 1 liter smart water bottles. In the back here, I had my micro spikes that I decided to keep the entire time, because the closer I got to the Sierras, the more I kept hearing, oh yeah, you're still gonna have to deal with snow. And I dealt with much more snow whenever I was north of the Sierras, and the little bit in Oregon that I did all through the Sierras, but I kept them just in case, so they came with me the entire trip, and didn't use them not one time. Also in this pocket is my rain gear. I've had this jacket for a while, and it's a Frog Togs. I think it's called the X-Lite. Yeah, it's just a Frog Togs jacket. It's good for wind protection and for rain. Pair of rain pants that I never used, but I've carried rain pants on all my hiking trips just as an extra layer for wind or warmth if I need it. All right, that's everything on the outside of the pack, so let's go inside. All right, on the inside of my pack, on top, I have the Durston X-Mid 2. The Durston X-Men 2 is an amazing tent, especially for the weight ratio and how much room you have. I love this tent. For tent stakes, I have the groundhog stakes. I have 2 minis for the guideline and then 4 for each corner of my Durston. I carried the Bear Vault in the very top also. I carried the Vargo Bot 700. I love this thing. It's nice to be able to, if I want to cold soak, the lid seals really well. Cooking it, it's quite versatile. If you saw the video where I was at Red's Meadow and I had to get into Mammoth to get a new stove, this is the stove that I ended up getting. It's an amazing stove, Snow Peak. I try to be as light as possible. I'm obviously not ultra light or anything like that, but this was a really good, dependable stove, and I'll continue to carry it. The last 2 pieces of my kitchen were this green scrubby. It dries super fast, and it's very useful whenever trying to get out macaroni or anything else that's stuck to your pot. Also carried a Toaks long-handled smooth spoon. Next in my pack, we carried camp shoes, just a pair of flip-flops. They were super light. Got them at Walmart. Next up is my ditty bag. A little bit of toothpaste, small travel toothbrush, some Benadryl, cold medicine, and Band-Aids. This is a repair kit. I have a small knife in it, extra bottle cap, some tenacious tape, and some more Band-Aids. Some fingernail clippers, earplugs, and hair bands, and a little chapstick. Tiger balm for my knee. Next up is my electronics. This bag is by Hilltop Packs, and it has pictures of my puppy dogs on them. I carried an extra Samsung phone just in case something happened to mine. You know, I was going through the most beautiful section, and I went back and forth on whether to carry a camera or what would be more useful. And I was due for a new phone, so I went ahead and kept my old one just in case. I carried 2 Nikkor batteries. This is the 10,000. I also carried a 20,000 milliamp battery pack by Nikkor. And the second time I went to use it, it wouldn't come on, it wouldn't charge. So whenever I got service, I was able to get on Amazon and order something for the next town that I was in. And I've had good luck with Anchor batteries. So I ordered a 20,000. I had no idea that it was going to be such a brick. Look at it in comparison to the Nikkor 20,000. It's amazing how big this thing is. Also had a dual charging block. Actually carried 2. That one, and then this one had a USB-C and another charging port. Do I think it was overkill? I used this a lot. Like every time that I charged my stuff, that way it was done very fast. Carried a pair of headphones, and honestly, I don't even think I used these maybe more than twice. I carried 3 cords for charging. My headlamp is the new Nikkor. I love this thing. I had the older Nikkor. It was amazing too, but it was getting a few years on it, and pretty cool. It's got like an indicator to tell you how much life is left in it. And I charged it right before I went up Whitney, hiked for about 5 hours with it on a high beam, and about a half a mile before I summited, the battery dimmed down, or the light dimmed down, and but it lasted the rest of the way up. My air pump was the Flex Tail, Near Zero, I think is what it was called. It's pretty amazing. Next item out of my pack is by Big Agnes, and it's the Rapide SL, and it's 25 by 72 pad. The next item is my clothing bag, 2 pairs of underwear, pair of sleeping shorts, 2 pairs of socks, and these are the Injinji socks. An extra sports bra, 2 sleeves for my knee, a pair of leggings, a wool long sleeve shirt for layering. Next out of my bag is my pillow. This is the Nemo Philo Elite Luxury. Amazing pillow. I love it. There is one thing that I am definitely not ultralight in, and that is my sleep system. For me, it's the most important thing. I need to be comfortable while I'm sleeping. Next up is the Sea to Summit Reactor Liner. Next up is Down Booties by Enlightened Equipment. My puffy is also from Enlightened Equipment. The last piece of gear is my quilt, and also by Enlightened Equipment. Amazing. This year I carried the 30 degree. I had plenty of layers, so I stayed warm. May have been like maybe one night that was pretty chilly. All right, I'll show you what I wore. Most of you saw in the video what I wore, but pair of sunglasses that I got from Amazon, sunglass keeper. My hat, it got pretty faded out and sweat stained. This was all pretty and blue at one point. The shirt I wore was by Outdoor Research, and it's a sun hoodie. It held up pretty good. It had a few holes in it and got pretty stained up, but I loved it. It was nice and light. The only issue, I don't even know that it's an issue, was in my tent one night, and I was like, wow, my shoulders look pretty bruised up. And when I finally got into town, what I realized is that wasn't bruising, it was tanning. The sun actually penetrated the sun hoodie and was still reaching my skin. The shorts I wore were by REI, and I've had these shorts for a good long time. They have the convertible pant legs for them also. I had Dirty Girl gaiters. The footwear I had was the Ultra Lone Peaks. Went through 2 pairs of these. My fanny pack is by Hyperlite. I enjoyed having this thing. It's so convenient being able to have all the little things that you might need throughout the day right there accessible. You don't have to stop. You don't have to take your pack off. Had some bug repellent, another chapstick, sunblock, a head net. I carried my comb right here. Bag for my sunglasses. A pair of reading glasses. Hand sanitizer, some ibuprofen, some Pepto tabs, my fire permit and my PCT permit, pen. I've got these aqua tabs just in case something happened to my filter. I never used them. Some stamps for postcards, some change for laundry. There were a few things that I initially carried with me that I ended up sending home pretty early on. One of them was this ice axe. It's not the lightest ice axe. I never saw any of them out there. This is the Petzl Snowwalker 75. And whenever I was on the AT and started dreaming about hiking the PCT, I bought this thing. So, oh my gosh, it's got to be, I don't know, 7 years old maybe? Other things that I ended up sending home, I had a collapsible cup. I had this also from Hyperlite for my phone that just went on to the strap on my backpack, but I ended up sending it home. I ended up just putting my phone in my pocket the whole time. A buff. Bought this jacket. It is by Columbia and it's for mosquitoes. I didn't wear it one time. The mosquitoes were so intermittent through my whole trip. Alright guys, that is a wrap on everything that I carried on the PCT in my pack. My pack weight was right at 17 pounds minus food and water.